date on our website, somewhere more than likely on the Barber and Cosmetology pages. I'm Ray Pizarro. I'm the director for the Education Examination Division. Today, I wanted to share with you what we've done so far. Previously, we have told all of you all that September 1, we are going to have the new Shears implemented so that schools can enroll both Barber and Cosmetology into one Shears. Well, that Shears is not ready. But we do have an alternative plan, and that's what the team is going to talk about. The HB 1560, what we've done with the alternative plan is that we are going to allow schools to enroll in the Barber Shears and in the Cosmetology Shears. Why are we doing this? Because September 1, all of you all will be eligible to teach the barbering and cosmetology courses, right? Each school is going to be able to teach the curriculum courses for all license types. Of course, if you're approved and certified to do so. And again, our team is going to go over all of those different things. So I want you to know that we are going to give you login. You're going to hear today, you're going to have login abilities to log into the barbering shears and to the cosmetology shears. You were going to talk a little bit about how you're going to post hours for the different course types that you're going to be approved to do so. Some of you have already been approved to teach both programs. Some of you have a barber license and some of you all have a cosmetology license. So those of you that's not going to change for you. You're going to see that, but there will be some updates that Lorraine and the team is going to share that will make some of you a little happy on that part of those that were already doing both of them currently. We also going to talk a little bit about distance learning and the ability to do distance learning and what amount of hours are you going to be able to provide in the distance learning mode, if you will. We're going to talk about certificate of approvals. And remember, that's what you currently have. The certificate of approvals allows you to teach the course and have access to the different license types within Shears. So we're going to talk about that on if you're only logged in or only have abilities to enroll in cosmetology because you've always only been a cosmetology school. And today you're thinking, I want to teach Class A barbering. Well, the team's going to show you what you're going to do and walk those steps on how you're able to enroll, get into the barbering shears, post the hours, enroll those students, post the hours, and ultimately those individuals will be able to take an exam and get a license in barbering. So schools, September 1, all of you all are eligible to teach all the programs in barbering and cosmetology. It's just a matter of getting certified and approved to teach those courses. So I'm going to leave it at that, and I'm going to turn it over to our team. I'm going to turn it over to Angie. Angie Smith is going to be talking a little bit about how this is going to unfold, who are all of us in E&E and what we do and how we're able to help you make your lives easy as we navigate through this merge.
Good morning. Thank you all for attending. My name is Angie Schmidt, and I'm one of the managers in Education and Examination. And in E&E, we actually have 3 sections, 2 of which I manage. We have the Occupational and Technical Services team, which we call OATS, and then we have the Health and Transportation Safety team, which we call HATS. The 3rd team is Outreach, Audits, and Policy, and Michael Strawn is the manager of that section. OATS is the section responsible for processing all barber and cosmetology school applications as well as all continuing education. There's approximately 1,000 barber and cosmetology schools. So along with those programs, this team also is responsible for 14 other programs, which includes massage. While they have a lot of responsibilities, they are a very small team. We are currently shorthanded, so there's only 4 people right now on that team. The passing of House Bill 1560 brought with it a lot of changes for your industry, but even more changes on our side. Due to the amount of work required creating and processing new curriculum, distance education, school applications, along with the hundreds of emails that this team receives each day, it's a lot for 4 people to handle. So we're just asking you to please be patient with us. Send your renewals in timely. Before you send in any questions, look in the Shears manual to see if the answer may be in there. We get a lot of emails that could have been answered by just looking through the Shears manual. If you send an email, we will get back with you. There's no need to send like 2 or 3. We will get back with you. It's just taken us a little bit longer than normal. But please know your question's just as important as everyone else's, and we will respond to you. With that said, I'm going to introduce the team. These people give their all to make sure that you can be up and running. We have Lorraine Sroop. She's our team lead. Cecilia Mojica, Letty Grantham, Ruby Alexander, and also today presenting with us will be Rebecca Armas. She's the OAP team lead for the Outreach Audits and Policy. If you need to contact us, there is a link found at the bottom of the page in Shears, Contact Education and Examination Division, and that's our web form, and that's the best way to get in touch with us.
Good morning, beautiful people out there. So good to see everyone. My name is Rebecca Armas. For those of you that don't know me, I'm the team lead for the Outreach Audits and Policy section. I was formerly your education liaison, so those of you that are familiar with my face. I just have a few things to share with you as far as my slides go. One of the things before I get completely started is I just want to put the word out that we will be revamping the PSI open houses that will start in October. So be looking out for those invitations. We're going to send them out via email to everyone. They'll be coming from PSI to let you know of the dates and times and locations. So just kind of look out for that. One of the things we want to share with everybody is, like Ray said, September 1, all schools will be able to offer, are eligible to offer barbering and cosmetology in their facilities. Whether you choose to or not, that's completely up to you. We're just now letting you know that due to HB 1560, you can now offer all of those courses under the same roof. What you'll need is, again, the 2 separate logins, but you also need to be sure that you are approved to teach them. So make sure if you want to add Class A barber, or if you're a barber school wanting to add the operator course, you're going to want to go ahead and go online to our page, complete those curriculum approval forms and send those in. If you plan on making any changes to what you're currently offering in distance education, you must do the same for each course that you're going to offer that distance education in as well. There's plenty of instructions on those forms for you. You'll just complete those and you're going to, upload them into Shears and we'll take care of them for you. Remember, you have to have that approval in order to offer those courses. But if you're not planning on doing anything different, you don't have to submit any new approvals to us. You're just going to go ahead and continue as business as usual. We're not going to require you to do anything different. What you will start to see, and what the team is going to be doing, is getting out those new certificate of approval forms. And you'll see there that that's an example of what they're going to be looking like in the future. So just kind of hang tight. I know those of you that had gone with us on our summits, I think you recall Sean saying, now don't be waiting at your mailbox on September 1st. But, in the coming months, you will be receiving those, and they're going to be in yellow. So by the end of the year, everyone should have their new yellow certificate of approval. You'll put that on there, that is going to display all the approved current courses that we now offer. So none of the old that were removed due to HB 1560 will be displayed. And now I will turn it over to Marie.
Thank you, Rebecca. Good morning, everyone. Appreciate you taking the time to join us this morning. I want to talk to you a little bit about the crossover course. That is the 300-hour course that's available for the Class A barber and the cosmetology operator license. We will still be continuing the 300-hour crossover course, but I want you to keep in mind that the only students that should be enrolled in those courses are those that are licensed. licensed students that are either a licensed barber and they're wanting to get their operator license, or a cosmetology operator licensee that's trying to get their Class A barber license. Those are the only students that should be enrolled in the 300-hour course. I also want to talk to you a little bit about distance education. The separate distance education application that used to be required is no longer out there. We have new course applications out there, and that distance education approval portion is part of each of those course applications. So if you are wanting to offer distance education for the manicure course, then you will need to send in the manicure course application and then fill out that portion of the hours that you're wanting to request for the distance education. If you're wanting to offer the operator course and you previously had a number of hours in the course, for example, maybe you had 200 hours in the distance education, and now you want to take advantage of the opportunity of being able to increase those hours. And so now you want to offer, for example, 400 hours. You need to submit that operator course application, and you would request the 400 hours. Now, the distance education was increased to 50%, but there's a very important piece to that. That needs to be dedicated to theory hours only. No practical hours can be offered through distance education. So for example, I'm going to use Cecilia here. I'm going to use you as an example. So you have school A, and currently you offer 200 hours in theory. And starting the new fall year, you've decided to increase those hours. So let's say you want to increase those hours to 400. The important thing you need to remember is that your course curriculum needs to only have 400 hours in theory. If it has 300 hours in theory, then you could only apply for 300 hours in distance education. So you really need to look at your curriculum and see how many hours you have dedicated to theory and how many hours you have dedicated to the practical portion, because only those theory hours will be able to be used in distance education. I am going to turn this over to Cecilia, and she's going to talk a little bit about our barbering Shears access and our operator cosmetology Shears access.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Cecilia Mojica, and I'm going to be explaining the enrollment of students in Shears for Class A, operator, and specialty students. For barber Shears, access is granted through a barber school license, so schools can enroll Class A barber students and report hours with no delays. The cosmetology Shears access is granted through a cosmetology school license, so schools can enroll operator students and report hours with no delays. This is a temporary situation for the interim period while Shears is continuing to be updated. And I'm going to be sharing my screen with you next and give you a visual of what you will see when you are in Shears attempting to enroll students. In this screen here, so in this screen here is where you will enter the license number and your school PIN. This here is where you will determine if you are going to be enrolling a Class A or a cosmetology specialty student or hours. This looks pretty much the same for the current Shear users. You will again just determine here which license you will select. The Shears manual is used for all inquiries that are submitted to our staff. I do have a additional slide that I want to share with you. This is how our requests are handled here in our education department. As previously stated, 100% of the requests that we receive can be resolved through the Shears manual. When our staff receives inquiries, we as well utilize the Shears manual, and this is where we try to obtain the information from and send it directly to the schools so that you know exactly where we obtain the information. When you have an inquiry that you feel is not in the Shears manual, we ask you to use our web form. And this is found at our TDLR website. With the request, we ask that you include all information with your submission. And this typically is what causes a delay. In case we need more info, we typically reach out and ask for questions. Once the request is received, our team handles everything in the order received, so there's no need to send a duplicate or to send several emails. We are working as quickly as we can to get to everyone as quickly as possible. Our OATS team currently is handling about 1,000 licensed schools, and our team currently consists of 3 program specialists and 1 team lead. We are trying to get away from emailing individual staff just because our staff is out at times. We have meetings, trainings, and whatnot. So I know sometimes it feels that you may get a quicker response by emailing an individual directly, but that's not always the case. Going back real quick, I wanted to mention that when you currently hold a license, for example, a cosmetology school license, and you want to offer the Class A barber program, there will be no additional fee to add the second license. And so, as I was stating, that's not going to be an additional fee for schools. And I'm going to turn it over to Lorraine.
Yeah, it's not letting me share. Sorry, guys.
Just finish with the last slide. Yeah. Okay, guys, I'm just going to go into this very quickly. We just want to remind you that when the schools receive errors, it's typically enrolling students. That's the most common and frequent mistake made by schools. Please just be mindful when you're enrolling students. Make sure that all the demographics are correct, and our team is always here to assist. So I will end with that. Thank you.
The Shears Operations Manual has been updated. We updated it where you're not required to necessarily print it out. I know many schools used to print out the manual and would have it with them to report hours or to enroll students. But we updated it now to where you can download it from the website, And when you download that copy, it's going to actually have the hyperlinks in there. So if you need to go to a particular section, say you need to know, I don't remember how to edit a student's email address or their mailing address. So you will be able to use that hyperlink to go directly to that section. So come September 1, when the Shears updates go live, you will also be able to have access to that new updated manual. Now keep in mind that in the spring, when the additional changes are made, go ahead and share. Since I want to make sure to.
Yes. On the slideshow.
So when we do the additional updates to Shears, then you will be able to download that new updated manual as well. It may not be here. I apologize, we're having some technical difficulty with sharing our slides, so if you'll give it just a moment, we'll get back up to the current slide. Yes, back. There we go. So if you will just download that new copy, it will have 2023 edition on there, so you'll know to make sure that you're downloading the correct copy, and that will start being available September 1 when the new updates are made to Shears. And so I'm going to turn this over to Letty, and she's going to talk to you a little bit about reporting those student hours. Letty.
Good morning, I'm Letty Grantham. Thank you for being here today. Okay, so here's the Shears main page. This is for those of you that are used to seeing the screen. This is what it looks like. There's the main menu, the list of topics that are in the main menu. And for those of you that are not familiar with Shears, then this is how it looks. Again, this is the Shears main menu. When you log in, you'll see the tabs that has the list of students, posting hours, and the function of reporting hours and enrolling students has not changed. That's the same. Okay, it's been updated. There's a couple of screens that have new information, but reporting hours and enrolling students, that has not changed. Okay, so next page. Let's talk about core and specialty hours. Class A and operator. We know that Class A requires 1,000 hours. The operator requires 1,000 hours. Core hours. Core hours are your 700 hours that are found in the technical requirements. That is in 83202A1. If we can go to the rules real quick so we can see the exact portion of those core hours. Here we go. So here are the rules. A1, all those are the 700 hours that are the technical requirements for both license types, for the Class A and the operator. And the 700 core hours are dual credit. Why are they dual credit, team? Because they apply to both license types. Specialty hours is 83202A2 and 3. These hours are specific to each license type. So these hours are not dual credit. For your Class A, I have to clock 300 hours in topics that are specific to shaving with any razor type. For the operator, I have to clock 300 hours that are specific to eyelash extension. So again, core hours is your 700 hours from A1, and those hours apply to both license type, and they are dual credit. Specialty hours, they're specific to each license type. Okay, so there we go. Next screen, our next slide is Shears posting hours. Give us a second. While we get the screen up, I do want to remind also to please download the updated Shears manual. Put it in your favorites, since it's going to be an interim procedure for you now for the next several months. And so want to take the time to remind to upload the new Shears manual and use it at all times. The Shears manual was created for schools to use, and it walks you step by step, literally walks you. The team has done a great job in updating the screens, the information, and it walks you step by step on how to enroll students, report hours, edit information, everything that the schools can do, it's right there. Whatever you encounter a specific issue, definitely contact us, and then we'll assist you with that and walk you through the process as well. Okay, so Shears posting hours. This is information that is going to be with the information that you see in red. That is new information that you're going to see in several of the slides in Shears. So for posting hours, the very first sentence, Class A operator and student, Class A, an operator, any students that are enrolled in the dual credit, meaning they're enrolled in the Class A and they're enrolled in the operator. You're going to see an added column in Shears where it'll say dual credit. That means that that student is enrolled in the Class A and is enrolled in the operator and has completed the required core hours, which are dual credit. So that's what you're going to see in Shears. Second sentence, we talked about that. There is no dual credit for the 300 specialty hours because those are specific to the license type. Be careful when you post hours. Only want to post hours on one record. So take your pick, Class A or operator, and that's where you're going to be reporting your hours. The system will recognize those 700 core hours, which are dual credit. So that's why you just pick a permit number, report those hours, and that under that permit number, the system recognizes that the student has completed the 700 hours. Then after that, you would post the 300 hours that are specialty hours, and that's where you would report the 300 specialty hours for the Class A under that record, and then of course the other 300 under the operator. System, I think that's what I've got as far as my portion.
Letty, I want us to go back for just a moment. If you will go back to the Shears page, one more, I think. No, the green one. Yeah, okay, perfect, thank you. I just want to make sure that it's clear when you're enrolling students and the proper access that you're going to have. Basically, we have a barber Shears and we have a cosmetology Shears. Since those have not been combined yet, we are still limited to using those two separate systems. So if you are a barber school and you currently have Class A barber students enrolled in your school, you are familiar with the barber Shears and the access. You enroll with your barber license, your PIN, and then you log in and enroll your students or report hours. So I want to talk about that barber school for just a second. Let's say you've decided, I want to expand the courses that I want to offer. I want to offer the operator course, and I think I want to maybe try the manicure and the eyelash course as well. So what do I need to be able to enroll students? Because I know I don't have the access to do that through my barber shears. Well, you're going to need to have access to the cosmetology shears. And how do you get that? You send in those course applications. You'll send in that operator course application. You'll send in that manicure course application. You'll send in that eyelash course application. And when our team receives those applications, they're going to realize that you don't have the access to the cosmetology shears. So what they're going to do is going to create for you a cosmetology school license. It will be at no cost to you. We will set up your access. We will send you your license number and your PIN, and then you will be able to enroll students through that cosmetology license. You'll be able to enroll those manicure students, those operator students, and those eyelash students that you were wanting to start offering those courses for. And you will do that through the cosmetology shears access. Now, your Class A barber students, they're still going to be enrolled and reporting hours through your barber school license. So it's very important that you realize those are going to be two separate accesses. You'll have your barber shears access, which is granted through your barber school license. And then there's going to be the cosmetology shear access that is able to be granted through your cosmetology license. And that will be for those operator students and all specialty students. The barber shears access will be limited to only Class A barber students. So if you are a cosmetology schools currently and you want to be able to start offering that Class A barber course, you will send in the Class A barber course application and we will set up that access for you. Again, at no additional cost, we're going to issue that license. So you will continue to renew the license that you held prior to September 1. So I just wanted to take a moment and make sure that that was clear. I'm going to turn it over to Angie, our manager, and ask her to give a little bit of update on any questions that you have.
Yes, if you have any questions about today's presentation, again, it will be posted on the Barber and Cosmetology web pages for you to go back and look through if you need to. But if you have any questions, that you can use the link found at the bottom of the page in Shears to contact us. It will bring up our web form, or on any of the barber or cosmetology school pages. Our links are on there as well. It'll say education and examination, and that's how you get in contact with us. Again, please be patient with this. We will get to you. If you have any questions related to this training today, if you would put just training or something to let us know that that's what the question is about, so we can look at those specifically. But again, we've all said it, just kind of pushing this home. Look through the Shears manual if you have any question first, because it may be able to be answered there, and that will help you just as much as it will help us. Thank you. I'm going to turn it over to Ray now.
Hello, so guys, thanks for being here. So what we wanted to introduce to you today is exactly what Lorraine and the team were talking about, is that we are making the change in a subtle way. We don't have the barber cosmetology shears completed yet. That's when you would only have to enroll into one Shears and log into one Shears. So right now we're sort of keeping the status quo, if you will. So barber shears still exist, cosmetology shears still exist. If you're wanting to partake in administering those courses that you don't already have, then we would give you access to the corresponding shears so that you're able to log in and report hours. The reporting of the hours is going to be the same. You will see here in the near future some changes on, as Letty was talking about, dual credit. You won't have to be able to post hours in both shears, but we're gonna show you that as we continue to complete the Barber Cosmetology Shears process, but that's more on the department side that we need to fix things on our end and have things access for you to utilize. We're trying to make this seamless to the business so that you don't have to be impacted when schools start. Our team is well aware of when the big enrollments are for high schools and private schools. So we're trying to make sure that we roll this out in a time that is not going to be a huge impact. But again, we're always here to help you. October is coming around, and you heard Rebecca talk about we're going to have some open houses. If you guys recall, those were the old open houses we've had with PSI. We're going to bring those back, and we're going to be talking about a lot of the do's and don'ts and where students can excel in their written examination, because that's the problematic part of it. But we're also going to talk about this implementation of HB 1560. We're going to have more hands-on and more conversations. This panel is going to be there. So we're going to have some FaceTime with you guys and some Q&A. So this is going to start coming up here soon, September 5th. All of this new rollout's going to happen. There's been a lot of schools that have already been sending in their course curriculum changes. And so by the time October comes and we do this open houses, we're going to have a little bit more than a month of implementation of this alternative path that we're taking that would allow you guys and us to communicate to see where we can make changes and update things as we move forward. But this is baby steps as we go through this merge process of the Barber and Cosmetology program. That's all we have for today. And again, this will be up there and there's more to come. This is not the end of it. This is just the beginning. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.